Why nitrous? The bottle's always empty. Well, it is no coincidence that I have on a Comp Cam shirt. And there's a reason for that. Today, look what came in. What? Yeah, buddy. Baby D's camshafts here. Got the old Comp Cams. Stick in the 5.7 Hemi. And I'm excited about it. We're going to put the cam in and who knows, we'll talk about a few things as we go, but what did we get? It is a off-the-shelf cam from Comp, and it is a 201-305-17. You can get these things right from Comp Cams for your Hemi. 277 on the intake, 283 on exhaust, with a 116 lobe separation, 632 on the intake, 619 on the exhaust. Gonna be a pretty healthy little bump stick in Baby D. So let's get hopped in on this thing, because there's a little bit on this thing that I got to learn about. Another thing that I got from Comp was this lock kit for locking out the variable valve timing on the Hemi. I don't know nothing about that. All I know about variable valve timing makes me think about Brent and Kyle, PFI Speed and Booster Boys with their VTEC. The Hemi has a MDS system, multi-displacement system on there, where the lifters quit working, which saves you fuel. We're doing away with all that too. We're not worried about fuel economy on this thing at all. Anyway, I'm going to gather up some tools and get the camera set up. Let's go have some fun and put this brand new Comp Cams in. A little bump time. Hey folks, before we start on this cam change here in the old Gen 3 5.7 Hemi, before we put the big Comp bump stick in Baby D's motor, tell y'all all the time that I watch the comments, read them, and I thought, you know what? Why not? Because I hate typing. Why not just answer a couple of them that caught my attention over the last few videos? And, you know, who knows? Maybe it'll make y'all want to comment a little more often. And I appreciate it. I do really, really enjoy reading those things. But, all right, let's just hop right in. So Lars 3, on the last Baby D video, he said, why nitrous? The bottle's always empty. Well, Lars 3, I gotta tell you, you know, boosting this thing would be awesome. I would love to do that. But again, last video I was talking about things getting out of control. That just helps get things out of control a little more. You know, if you do the Pro Charger route, one, you got the expense of buying it. Two, you got to add all the accessories, which I love working on this thing, so that's not a big deal. But you're right, you know, the power's always there. All right, let's think about turbos. You know, you got to do the tubing, the header kit, intercooler, all that. Again, the power's always there. And big old blower, now that's right up my alley, obviously, with driving a top fuel car for a living. That would be awesome. Again, very expensive. Again, the power's always there. But this thing, it's not going to be a dedicated drag race vehicle. It's going to be a fun vehicle. You know, whether we're just out in the driveway doing burnouts, or, you know, we're at the drag strip trying to go down the quarter mile there, or whatever the case may be, or maybe we're at Georgia Ray's drag strip doing a little 8th mile heads up stuff. Whatever we do with this thing. With nitrous, I know you're right. The bottle will always be empty because I can't help myself. I'm going to find myself flipping the switch, and stomping on the loud pedal and burning up the nitrous. But if I can control myself, this thing will be, you know, pretty tame to drive, and just put pump gas in it and roll on. And it's way less expensive to do the nitrous. But I know what you're thinking. It's less expensive until you burn the pistons out of it. Guess what? I fully expect to burn the pistons out of this thing, whether it has boost or nitrous. It's going to happen. That out of control thing, I know right now that I should go ahead, knock the rods and pistons out of this thing, open up the ring gap, put a better set of pistons in it, because these are not going to hold up that well to probably what I'm going to do to it. But I'm prepared for that. Anyway, Lars, man, thank you for the comment. That is awesome. I appreciate it. Another quick comment, and then I'm going to start trying to get this cam in here. Austin Road said, build an engine for Baby D out of used Top Fuel parts. I have a lot of access to a Top Fuel car. It takes a lot of parts. And Austin, I can tell you, we don't want to put any of those parts in this thing after they come out of the Parts Plus Top Fuel car, because they are wore out or broke or both. It would be awesome. This thing would be a scream machine. I mean, it just scream with an old Top Fuel motor in it. The downside is I want to be able to drive this thing, and Top Fuel blocks do not have any kind of coolant in them. They're billet, the heads are billet, they're solid aluminum. So it'd be good for a blast down the racetrack, but that's going to be about it. So anyway, all right, let's start tearing this thing down, and when I get ready to take a little stop break, I will maybe answer a couple of more of these. I enjoy it. I appreciate you watching. Appreciate the comments. I do read them. Go ahead and comment down below. Maybe I'll find yours and read it on, and then talk about it on another video. Thanks, guys. Let's change a camshaft. All right. How many of y'all besides me have battled getting a harmonic balancer off? And all of us got this little cheap harmonic balance puller, and then the one that's a little better. I ended up having to go see brother-in-law and get a real heavy duty one. See if we can get the balancer off so we can get a cam in. These things, they're on there sometimes. All right, got the front cover off. That's Top Fuel speak. Got the timing cover off, the water pump off, and that pesky harmonic balancer. And I know I'll get beat up on this. Somebody will comment this is how it works. I'm learning these new 5.7 Hemi things. Back in my early days, always been a big block Chrysler guy, 440s, 383s, 400s, whatever. And on those, when you're putting a timing chain on, cam in it, it's simple. Dot to dot. Top timing gear, bottom timing gear, dot to dot. And this is where I'll get tore up, because I'm going to have to go to Google, go to YouTube, and figure this out. So if you look, I don't know if you can see that, right there is the, right there is the dot on the top cam gear. And if you go down here, I don't know if you can see it, there's the dot on the crankshaft. I have spun and spun and spun this thing. It appears to me also, number one is at TDC, and the lifters are all the way down, which tells me it is on the correct stroke. So I'm pretty sure it is supposed to go with the cam gear dot straight up, crank gear dot straight down. Here lies the problem I got to figure out. So I pulled the tensioner back and put that piece of wire in there, and I cannot make the top dot and the bottom dot straight up and down. I'm pretty sure if I took the tensioner off, I could do that. All of that seems really strange to me, and so it's time to Google, YouTube. The answers are out there. You just gotta hop on your phone and find them. Don't want to put the timing chain on incorrectly, have this thing out of time, because once it's in Baby D, I want to be done and just have it fire up. Google time. Okay, folks. Here Donna out there cutting the grass. She loves cutting the grass, and I'm glad she does. Me, I'm in here hammering away on Baby D, putting this cam phaser lock kit in here from Comp Cams. It's pretty simple. Top gear, put this lock on there right there. There is a spring inside here, and what a cam phaser does is allow the cam to move through oil pressure. So you have to remove this off the back of the top cam gear, and oil pressure allows this thing to move up to 38 degrees of retard, which it's all done through oil pressure. So what the cam phaser lock does is slides right in here. This tool is holding the spring in place. This Comp Cam piece just drops in there. You put an Allen screw in there, tighten her up nice and tight. Boom, cam can't move no more. We basically locked it all out. All that's done just in the name of improving fuel economy. Not really worried about fuel economy here. We just want to stomp on the loud pedal, spin tires, go fast. I'm learning Hemi stuff. Dun, 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 dun. All right, got the cam out, and man, I didn't want to just put this right back in without showing y'all this. It is freaking awesome. Look at stock camshaft. It ain't bad, but look at this thing right here. If y'all go back a few videos, you will find a video where I went to Comp Cams and we walked through the place, looked at everything. Well, you can see how shiny and beautiful this is. This is not chrome. This is a micro polishing process that Comp Cams does, and it is not for looks. It literally, there is a finish put on these things in a machine that just makes them live longer. We actually did the testing for this for Comp Cams and found cam life to be much, much better. You won't see this tracking like you see here in this one from springs pressure pushing down on the lifter where it rolls across there. It does away with that. It makes the cams live so much longer. And I mean, we talked about this is over 600 lift. I do not know what stock is, but besides the lift, look at how sharp that is. Look at how this rolls up right here. The way that rolls up tells you that valve is going to be open much longer and close much differently. Woo! Can't wait! 600 plus lift of Comp Cams, buddy. This thing's gonna be awesome. Let's go! All right. Got the camshaft stuck in after going to the Google machine, the YouTube videos, and staring at how pretty that Comp Cams is. What I've discovered is, if you look right there, you'll see those two little squares on the timing chain. They straddle that mark on the cam gear, and it goes to the 6 o'clock position, which is where it's at right now. And if you go down here, you'll see a single little square and it goes to the dot on the oil pump drive, bottom crank gear, whatever you want to call it. So that is what I discovered on Google, YouTube. Hope I have it correct. Single little square onto the bottom crank gear, the doubles on the top, straddling that mark. So, I know nitro Hemis, I know 426 Hemis, but I'm still learning on these little Hemis. I think they're pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. They're cool motors. Let's continue on. Get the timing gear, timing cover back on, and that is the next part of the process here. Guys, thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, all that. I enjoy seeing that. Really appreciate it. Thank you, guys. All right, camshaft's in. I might as well tell the truth. I thought the camera was going when I was being so careful, putting the cam in, lubing it all up, because you don't want to put a camshaft in without a lot of good thick lube on it. Camshaft's pretty, and I hope I got it timed right. I think I do. And I wanted to finish up this video. Early in the video, I told y'all I'd read the comments, check them out, and I answered a couple of them from Lars 3 and Austin Road. Let's pick another one right quick. Let's see. Captain Lucky 23. Did he use a throttle stop? Well, Captain Lucky 23. I'm pretty sure that's Captain Lucky 23, but it's CAPT Lucky 23. So I know he's talking about from the video when Austin Prock drove the car, and I do not use a throttle stop, and Austin has never driven not using a throttle stop. To make a long, crazy weekend very short, Mike Klober and all the Parts Plus team, they adjusted the throttle stop so that he could use it. And Austin has the skill to drive the car without a throttle stop, but we were in a tough, must perform right now situation, and without having any time for him to test the car. I mean, this kid had to get in there and go 320 something miles an hour right down the racetrack there in Norwalk. So yes, he did use a throttle stop, and he does have the skill to do it without it, but we did not have time for a mistake while practicing, trying to learn. Austin's a good kid, really appreciate him hopping in, but I don't ever want to have to do that again. All right, Baby D, camshaft's in, one step closer. We will continue moving on, getting Baby D ready to fire up, smoke the tires, have some fun. Still got a little bit more to do. I'll take you along on this. Appreciate everybody watching, liking, subscribing, commenting, all those things that go along with it. The channel's slowly growing, and I very much appreciate it. See you guys very soon. Don't know what the next video will be. Who knows? But we'll see you soon. Thanks, guys. Down.